South African immigrant and welfare queen never gave a damn about government efficiency. That was never the point of DOGE. It was all a lie. It was all a ruse. Put up this first post. A Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations memo out this morning estimates that Elon Musk and his companies stand to avoid at least $2.37 billion in legal liability through his efforts to gut the federal workforce and exert influence over federal agencies. Next slide. The report claims that the estimated $2.37 billion drastically underestimates the true benefit Musk may gain from his newfound influence in government, which could include billions through new contracts or the competitive advantage gained by collecting intelligence on competitors. Next. As of January 20, Musk and his companies were subject to at least 65 actual or potential actions by 11 different federal agencies. The subcommittee estimated financial liabilities for 40 of the 65 actions by 8 federal agencies, including the memo calls on the Trump administration to respond info requests from Congress on Musk's federal entanglements, review contracts, awards, etc. to Musk companies to determine whether measures were in place to prevent undue influence, initiate independent audits of those major contracts. The memo concludes, no one individual, no matter how prominent or wealthy, is above the law. Anything less than decisive, immediate, and collective action risks America becoming a bystander to the surrender to modern oligarchy, public power in private hands. And the last one. On Sunday, Senator Blumenthal also sent a letter with the memo's findings to each Musk company facing oversight action by the federal government, SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, XAI, and Neuralink, and requested more info by May 11th. So this is not as juicy as all the baby mama stuff, but this is so incredibly telling. And it's what everybody suspected that doesn't sit around and freebase Fox News. He did all of this shit on purpose to enrich himself. He was under investigation, 40 out of 65 of those companies. And this man went in with a chainsaw and dismantled every bit of it, had a guy named Big Balls probably remove evidence. And I want to remind everybody, this man said, because he's always on ketamine, off ketamine, and the truth dripped out, if Trump doesn't win, I'll probably go to prison for a very long time.
I don't think the letter asking for more information by May 11th is enough. I think they need to issue subpoenas. I think this man needs to account for his behavior immediately. They should have done it from jump. And if we're depending on the Trump administration to make this right, we're in serious trouble. But I'll tell you what's going to happen in my very, very, very much optimistic hope that once the midterms are over and Democrats are in power, we haul his ass into Congress to testify, and then he is prosecuted because his crimes will live long past Pam Bondi. And the Supreme Court has not given a private individual in the public sphere unlimited immunity like they have Donald Trump. And I think he should be prosecuted for this because this is corruption 101.
What if Trump pardons him on the way out?
Well, he can do that, but here's the thing. Some of these are going to be state crimes that he's gotten into with his big overarching companies. They're in every city, in every state. So I hope we have some very brave attorneys general like Letitia James that look at all this and say, okay, you're pardoned federally, but you're not going to be pardoned by the states.
What if Trump is impeached? Can an impeached president pardon people on his way out the door?
That is a great question. And I don't know the answer to that, but I will absolutely find out because I would think that when Trump leaves, he's pardoning Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, all of them. Elon Musk would be at the top of the list. Although you know how Trump is so diabolical, he may not impeach. I mean, he may not pardon Elon Musk just to watch him fall. just because he's jealous.
Yeah, but I do think Elon Musk has goods on Trump.
Sure.
I believe they have a mutually assured destruction clause. He benefited Trump in illegal ways to help him ascend to the presidency. I think that there's just some deals that they made that are under the table. And the deal was, hey, if I help you, if I game the algorithms, if I do this, if I do that for you, you'll owe me. And I want to go shut down all of these investigations. Well, that's such an easy sell to Trump because he's just like, yeah, it's another witch hunt. Now they're coming after you. But I want to remind you, back before they made their blood bond, Trump used to get on Twitter and rip the shit out of Elon Musk. He would be like, Elon Musk is begging me for help.
Yeah.
And he's only a billionaire because of these subsidies. Nobody even likes his electric vehicles. And then here they are, he's having a car commercial for him on the White House lawn. But I do think there is trouble in paradise. And they're so immature, these guys. So you have Scott Bessent and Elon Musk have a big fuck you fest while Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister of Italy, is in the Oval, and everybody can overhear Scott Bessent, the demon queen, going, fuck you. And Elon Musk is like, say it louder. And he's like, fuck you. And everybody in the Oval can hear it. And then they unfollow each other from Twitter. Like we talk about the evil and the diabolical and all the shit about the Trump administration, but one word we don't use enough, they're unprofessional.
They are. They're indecent and unprofessional.
It's just unprofessional. It's just totally unprofessional to sit behind the Oval Office and have all your riffraff and knickknacks, flea market and peddling all this shit. And yes, man, standing behind you, just feeding your ego. That's unprofessional. You look like a weak ass man that can't sit there by yourself. He has to have like narrators, hype guys behind him going, yep, yep, that's right. That's right. You did it, boss.
You're the best.
It's just so pathetic. And then I think he also unfollowed Musk. I think it was maybe Duffy, the transportation secretary. They got in a big pissing match because if Elon Musk wants to go in and he wanted to fire all these FAA administrators. Why? Because Elon Musk blasts a rocket off the coast of Florida, and the FAA then shut down SpaceX from having to do that because all these commercial flights are going everywhere and there's debris everywhere. Well, that hurt Elon Musk's feelings. So then he decides he wants to dismantle the FAA. What happens? I think it's 2 weeks into their turn, and we have planes crashing all over the place. And so then they unfollow each other. From Twitter. And so on top of being breathtakingly immature, sophomoric, not experts, for sure, some sort of untreated addiction and mental illnesses on all of them. They're unprofessional. This is your job. Be professional. And this is something I want to talk to you about. Something that pisses me off and occupies a lot of space in my brain sometimes is Mitch McConnell trying to act like he cares about the country and he cares about the Constitution. And here's what I want to say. Mitch McConnell is no different than Trump and Musk. The only difference is he wants to be somewhat professional and polite about his racism.
Right. And he soft sells everything that it's policy but in reality, you're right. He took Obama's Supreme Court picks. He's packed the court with people that don't believe in the Constitution. And he's having buyer's remorse now. He sat there and talked about what Trump did on January 6th, and then he turned around and voted against impeachment. He is no better. And I feel like he had a large part in creating the monster that is now Trump.
One of the biggest parts. One of the biggest birthers of it. And this is why I never bought into the Liz Cheney narrative. And so many Democrats are like, oh my God, Liz Cheney, she's such a hero. And I never bought into it because I'm like, she voted with Trump 90% of the time. She stands in front of cameras and says that babies were murdered after they were born in hospitals, which is a complete lie and a myth that American doctors participate in late-term abortions, which is a total lie. The difference between Liz Cheney and Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump and the Marco Rubios of the world, they all want the same thing. They just have two different approaches. So when I see Democrats embrace the Liz Cheneys or try to say, well, Mitch McConnell voted against something, I'm like, I don't give a shit. because these people at the end of the day, they like all this MAGA shit. They hate all the same people that Trump hates. They stoke all the same fear, racism, hate, and fire in the rubes across, rural America. They just want to do it a little bit more quietly.
Right. And they want to disassociate from Trump because they know what a buffoon he is. And they want to think that they're superior intellectually and morally. But they're the same thing because they didn't stop it when they could have.
Maybe about my argument about Trump being professional. Maybe that's what Liz Cheney and Mitch McConnell are. Maybe they're just professional about their racism. So maybe I'm wrong to call them out for being unprofessional, because you know what I'd rather see? At least he tells us the exact piece of shit that he is every single day and doesn't try to be morally duplicitous like a lot of these Republicans and some of these Democrats that arrive at the negotiating table by ceding rights of marginalized Americans, which I think is an unforgivable political move. Unforgivable to leave people on the sidelines because you think it's going to cost you votes, to deny people rights and free speech and a right to vote and to stoke racist fears because you think it's a political liability. Because you know what happens? Some of these tokens that are run into Trump right now, you saw that Saquon or whatever his name is, that football player.
Barkley.
Yeah. What happens with a token is they always end up getting spent. And that all of these people that are of color, marginalized, what's her name? The Kardashian.
Caitlyn Jenner.
You're a token right now. And at some point, you're going to get spent. So have conviction, have some decency, have a spine. Walk the walk, talk the talk, be unrelenting, be uncompromising, because Elon Musk just played everybody. And the damage that the history books, imagine 100 years from now, a South African immigrant comes to the United States of America, gets all of the Americans upset about immigration, and then dismantles the country in the very first time they ever saw an oligarch get on the inside of the government and do a self-coup. I mean, that's going to be the autopsy of it. It's insane. All right, subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1 million, and we'll see you all later.